Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, coming to you as usual from the great state of Texas, precisely Houston, Texas. Thanks for tuning in as usual. If you are watching by way of the social media, that is YouTube and Facebook, do me the favor, go ahead, hit your share button. Hit your share button and let everybody out there know the anchor man is not just live, but he is indeed our life, our life. Once more, good evening and welcome for those of you tuning in from continental Africa by way of satellite television and in the diaspora, Europe, Canada, the USA, South America. Thank you for tuning in. I come to you tonight with a very, very educative broadcast, which I believe is going to be very, very illuminating. Of course, at the end of the day, I'm going to open the phone lines to take your calls as usual. So please, again, go ahead, hit your share button as I'll be right back in the next minute. Thanks for tuning in again, ladies and gentlemen. Please do me the favor, if you are watching by way of the social media, go ahead, hit your share button, let others know the anchor man is live. Tonight, we'll be discussing the APJ plan, the APJ peace plan for Cameroon. I have discussed this about on about 2 occasions here on the set, and we'll be talking about it today with an exclusive interview with somebody who is a true insider into the APJ. I am here referring to Dr. J.J. Asongu. I believe many of you out there are familiar with the name and maybe with the face too. So that is the key subject that I bring to you today. But before I get there, I just want you to know that something took place in Tuba, that is Bambili district, a few days ago, where I understand the home of the colonial DO, district or divisional officer, was razed, and the phone of Bambili, with the help of the Cameroon army, was whisked out of town, and he is now in hiding, and there is tension in that community. I won't be talking about the details of that today, but I believe in subsequent broadcasts I will be able to come to you with details of that. But I am glad I can come to you with my monologue for tonight and then dive straight into my interview with J.J. Asongu. So I will come with you again with my talking point, my monologue, and after the talking point, I will usher in J.J. Asongu to respond to, give us his take on what is going on with the ICO and the APJ. It is imperative, ladies and gentlemen, that we continually reassess the trajectory of our struggle, ensuring we remain steadfast in our pursuit of total independence and sovereignty. The ongoing liberation war is not a call for compromise or assimilation, but a clarion demand for the restoration of our dignity, our freedom and nationhood. Against this backdrop, the emergence of the APJ, Alliance for Peace and Justice, and their collaboration with the international communities Organization, ICO, raises significant concerns that merit thorough examination. The APJ, in conjunction with the ICO, presents itself as a mediator of peace and justice. However, a close analysis of their peace plan reveals a glaring omission: the independence of Ambazonia. Instead, the APJ advocates for autonomy within the framework of a united Cameroon. This is not the vision for which thousands of Ambazonians have laid down their lives. Their approach seems designed to recycle the idea of the special status offered during Cameroon's so-called Grand National Dialogue. This so-called status was a deceptive ploy to appease international scrutiny while maintaining the subjugation of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Similarly, the APJ's plan centers on a ceasefire and dialogue with only face value ambiguous mention of the root causes of the conflict. Autonomy, as proposed by the APJ, is a baited trap, in my opinion. Proponents argue that autonomy, followed by a referendum, could eventually allow Ambazonians to decide their future. However, history provides ample evidence that such processes are fraught with manipulation and delays. By the time a referendum question surfaces, if it ever does, La République would have already dismantled the very foundation of Ambazonia's resistance. A ceasefire under such terms is not a step forward towards freedom. It is a prelude to disarmament and demobilization. Without the ability to defend ourselves, Ambazonia will be left vulnerable to further exploitation and oppression. It is akin to surrendering the sword while trusting the oppressor to honor promises of peace. The ICO and its local collaborators, including Capo Daniel and Dr. J.J. Asongu, with others, have conspicuously avoided the term Ambazonia. Their rhetoric focuses on southern Cameroons or Anglophone regions, subtly undermining the identity of our struggle. This linguistic choice is not accidental. It aligns with their vision of keeping Ambazonia shackled within the framework of La République du Cameroun. By excluding the independence option from their peace plan, the ICO and the APJ reveal their bias. Their mission is not to secure justice for Ambazonia, but to perpetuate the status quo under the guise of peace. It is crucial to revisit the goals of our liberation war. Ambazonians have never fought for half measures or ambiguous autonomy. Our struggle is rooted in the historical betrayal of 1961, when the United Nations and the British government facilitated our forced union with French Cameroon or La République du Cameroun, ignoring our right to self-determination. Since then, our people have endured assimilation, marginalization, cultural erasure, and economic exploitation. The blood of our martyrs demands nothing less than full independence. Any solution that falls short of this is a betrayal of their sacrifice. History is replete, ladies and gentlemen, with examples of liberation movements undermined by half measures. The ICO and the APJ's plan mirrors similar strategies used in other contexts to pacify resistance without addressing the core grievances of oppressed peoples. For instance, South Sudan. Decades of autonomy within Sudan failed to prevent continued exploitation and marginalization until full independence was finally achieved in 2011. How about Western Sahara? Promises of autonomy under Moroccan rule have resulted in prolonged conflict and stalled referendums, leaving the Sahrawi people in a state of limbo. The lesson is clear. Autonomy within a hostile framework is not a stepping stone to freedom. It is a trap designed to dissipate resistance and legitimize oppression. Amazonians must discern between genuine leadership and opportunistic collaboration. Leaders who align with the Apj'S peace plan are complicit in the dilution of our cause. Their actions betray the sacrifices made by Amazonians on the battlefield, in detention centers, and in exile. True leadership does not waver in the face of international pressure or the allure of compromise. It stands firm in its commitment to the people's aspirations. Our path to independence requires unwavering resolve and clarity of purpose. Here are key steps Amazonians must take to safeguard their struggle. Number one, rejecting compromises. Any plan that does not explicitly recognize Amazonia's right to sovereignty is unacceptable. Number two, we strengthen unity. The divide and conquer tactics employed by La République du Cameroon and its collaborators must not weaken our collective resolve. Amazonian factions must prioritize unity over personal or political differences. And lastly, self-defense. A strong self-defense is critical to securing our negotiating position. Disarmament under the guise of a ceasefire will only embolden La République du Cameroon to continue its atrocities. Let us not be deceived by the serene call for peace without justice. The Apj'S plan is a sophisticated attempt to derail, I believe, in my opinion, our independence movement. Their narrative may sound appealing to those weary of war, but it offers no real solution to our plight. Instead, it seeks to entrench the very structures of oppression we are fighting to dismantle. Our liberation war is not a battle for autonomy or reform. It is a fight for freedom and sovereignty. Let us honor the sacrifices of our heroes by staying true to the cause. No half measures, no compromises, independence or nothing. And that is my talking point to you this night, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I am being joined by J.J. Asongu, who is the executive, I believe he will correct me if I'm wrong, the executive director of the Apj'S, Alliance for Peace and Justice. JJ, it's a privilege to have you join me here tonight, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's great to have you, sir. I hope you are doing great out there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. I am very sure you have listened to my monologue, and I guess probably in your mind it is out of place to what the Apj'S and the ICO they are trying to achieve here. If I am wrong, correct me, sir.
Yeah, I think you are definitely wrong. First of all, your, at the beginning of the program, as part of your monologue, you did mention a couple of things that are not right.
Okay.
First of all, you said not for independence, and I wonder if you've read the because the document clearly says that we are for independence, and we have a roadmap towards that independence, and that roadmap through a referendum, which we speak at identified as our end point, and the document states that we are looking at the possibility of having such a referendum in the year 2030. So if you claim that we are not for independence, having a referendum of Southern Cameroons by 2030, your monologue was self-contradiction. That is surprising to say to read any further meaning to it, but I think it's rather surprising that you would say that when the the plan clearly says that there will be a referendum on the future, the independence question. With that said, first of all, this is not an ICO APJ plan. APJ stands for Alliance for Peace and Progress. And less than 2 weeks ago, it was formed on the 17th November, after 2 years, not almost 2 years, a year of discussions with various groups, Ambazonian groups. And the idea was with the one groups,
Dr. JJ, I don't know. I think you are having I think you are having a connection issue out there.
And we are to La République Cameroon. Sorry, it looks like.
Yeah, I think you are having a connection issue out there.
Okay.
Just go ahead. Just go ahead. Let's see. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was saying that the idea, these things have been discussed over a period of almost 2 years, and there were many groups that were involved. At some point, some of the groups under the umbrella of the consultative committee, they chose to leave the negotiation table. I would not even call it the negotiation table, that's the discussion table. And at that point, all what we were trying to do was to come out with certain bottom line, the least, our least common denominator, the things that we think must be part of an acceptable with La République du Cameroon. So while they walked out, a number of other groups stayed in, including me. We stayed in. Finally, the Sunday the 17th, we had the final meeting where we put forward the plan, which we have made public. It's not a secret plan. We've made public. We put together a 2-page plan. Initially, there was a longer document of about 16, 17 pages. But at the end, because of some of the disagreements and all that, we said we should come out with a summary document of the main points, the things that we are looking for, with the hope that it's a document in progress, that other groups or anybody who joins in, we can come in and contribute towards getting that. All along, yes, the APJ, that's why I said it is, not APJ, the ICO, the International Communities Organization, all along, they said this is not their process, that it was ours, and that we own all the Ambazonian groups that are there, anybody wants to be there, that we own the process. So I'm not saying anything contrary to what they said, even when other groups were still there. and we
All
can
right,
get into why.
just hold it, just hold it there if you can. Let me go back from the beginning. You mentioned that you tried to discount my opening statement that said you are all about one Cameroon, and you said no. This is a process that leads to the independence of Ambazonia 2020, tackling the referendum, you said. Now, the preamble to your organization, which I have here, says, the first paragraph says, this paper represents the collective position of groups from the former British Southern Cameroons who seek a peaceful and sustainable solution to the crisis, an end to political violence, and relief for the humanitarian situation affecting the region. Paragraph 2, or point B, says, recognizing the need to move beyond zero sum or zero rum, something like that, perspective. The paper aims to establish a foundation for a renewed relationship between the former British Southern Cameroons and the government of the Republic of Cameroon, centered on genuine autonomy and self-governance. That is your position. That I'm reading from your position paper there. So if you look at this, how do you explain to somebody that this is a logical plan to independence? When you say you want a renewed relationship with the Republic of Cameroon that is focused on the autonomy within the framework of La République of Cameroon, or self-governance within that same framework, how can you convince the people listening to us that your plan is about independence?
You've just added some words there.
No. I have not added anything. I have read exactly what is there.
Well, you read and you added.
Yeah, I did an explanation at the end, but again, if you want me to read exactly word for word, listen to what it says. Recognizing the need, let me expand my screen here. Recognizing the need to move beyond zero-sum perspectives, the paper aims to establish a foundation for a renewed relationship between the former British Southern Cameroons and the government of the Republic of Cameroon, centered on genuine autonomy and self-governance. Quote to quote. Let me read the point C. That also says, the proposed model for autonomy. Now, these are your words. The proposed model for autonomy is premised upon I think there's a typo or something area there. But it said the proposed model for autonomy is premised upon the inviolability of the territorial, linguistic, cultural, and indentarian integrity of the people of the former British Southern Cameroon. This is all what you have there. So, comrade, my question would be,
yes,
you are very clear what your intentions there are: autonomy, self-governance within the framework of United Cameroon. How do you convince somebody that this plan then leads to independence for Ambazonia?
We did not say that within the framework of a united Cameroon. First of all, we acknowledge the fact that this is a process. It's not a one-day thing. So you have to see the whole paper. Don't cherry pick one sentence from here and there and say that's all what it is. The whole.
Comrade, I have actually read the entire paper.
Sorry?
I have actually read the entire paper, and along this conversation, I will be quoting from it.
Yes, so we say that the entire thing is premised on the fact that we want independence, and that the independence should come through a federation. And we propose that this federation will be in 2030, as I said, and we say that there is a roadmap towards self-determination. And that roadmap, I'm getting to the point of the autonomy. First of all, autonomy, if you look at the word autonomy, it means it's actually a synonym for independence, because your
Oh, not
autonomous.
really, not really. I think you can
Oh,
say
yeah,
it's a
it is.
synonym for.
It is. There are multiple definitions. There are
Exactly. And
multiple.
in this case, it doesn't mean independent
No,
because
I'm
you
telling you
said
as the
you have talked
author.
about a new relationship with Cameroon.
Correct, because they need to be a new relationship. Right now, the relationship that exists is a belligerent relationship where we are fighting, and we are fighting with La République du Cameroon. So basically, the relationship is that we want to sit on the table with La République du Cameroon, which is nothing novel. There's nothing novel about it. You have mentioned before, even the program that just ran before this was talking about the Canadian process. It was talking about the Swiss process. That all talked about negotiation. So there's nothing novel about this. This is all part of what we have all been working towards. And then we are saying that right now there is that situation where both sides are not talking to each other. And we believe that a solution would come with both sides talking to each other. And that's what we are talking about when we mean by a new relationship, where
We
we
are
are
both
willing,
agreed. We are both
where
agreed. We are both
let me just
agreed.
finish, that there will be a relationship. The meaning of the relationship is that we are now willing to sit and talk with La République du Cameroon with the goal that we will put together a roadmap. Because you just talked about the situation of Sudan, South Sudan. I did participate in some serious meetings. I was in Mozambique. I was in Mozambique at the first AU meeting where they were talking about the issue they put in. They talked about 10 years for them to prepare for a referendum and all that. So we recognize that referendum will not happen overnight. That referendum will need time to prepare questions as to who to vote, who to supervise, all those things, and it cannot happen overnight.
Okay,
Therefore,
doctor,
yeah,
let's not rush. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Let's not rush. I
yeah,
know,
but
like
let
you,
me,
when
let me clarify the point, since you keep on insisting on that. So
why don't we
the
do this? Why don't we
relationship.
do this? Why don't we do this? Why not take
Okay.
us step by step from ceasefire to referendum to where Ambazonia get
Well, that's where I
independence
was
in
moving
your
to.
plan?
That, that's where I was moving to.
All right.
Our plan has two main things. One, that there should be a negotiated ceasefire where the international community, precisely the United Nations, we are proposing that the United Nations should send a peacekeeping force or a mediation force that should come to supervise the ceasefire, so that La République de Cameroon cannot come and arrest or continue to cause havoc while we do this. On the other hand, our organizations, our groups that are fighting, would also cease fire, stop fighting, giving room for peace. And our first thing is that it will start by releasing all the prisoners as a sign of good faith. And then, as they release the prisoners, as we work towards that 2025, we don't want to be in the same situation where we are today. So we say that in between now, let's say if it was to happen now or next year, we're already in November, let's say it was to happen next year, then between whatever time this thing happens, between then and 2030, the government of Cameroon will need to do a number of things. We are saying that as the very first thing that they should do is that they need to allow regional governments to uh, or a government for Southern Cameroons to come in force so that
And
we
and
start
when does that come into the plan? The government of the
immediately.
Southern Cameroon, when does that come into the plan?
Immediately, that's part of the negotiations of the ceasefire. That as soon as that happens, the government comes into place. They will establish regional assemblies. That's what we are talking about, and then hold elections for those regional assemblies. And we would then we are actually asking this. This is a summary of our position, but initially the position includes the fact that that we want to have control over our economy, control over our police, control over our educational system, control over our legal system. In fact, the only thing that we yield to La Republique is international relations and probably a few other things like issuing of passports and all
But
that.
then the problem there is you are talking about these regional assemblies. La Republic has already provided for them in the context of their special status. But
Well,
you
there are
are
no there are no
talking
regional
about it.
assemblies. Do you have
You are
regional
talking about
assemblies there
regional
now?
assemblies in the
Do you
context
have,
of
excuse me, do you have
autonomy
regional
within
assemblies?
Cameroon. Why not
Do you
wait
have
to when? Why not get to the end of your program where you anticipate independence and say, at independence, Amazonians decide what kind of assemblies, whether regional or what assemblies they want to have? Why start
Yes.
from that?
Okay. Listen. Wait. When you get the referendum, you need a people who are already in place, governments, people who are already in place doing it. So the 5 years or 4 years, as the case may be, prior to the referendum, in our estimation, is the time that you start building self-governance. You start building self-governance, building institutions that ultimately, because this is a democratic process, that ultimately we hope, if the referendum comes in, that we are going to overwhelmingly support independence. So in the meantime, you have to build those institutions, and this time period is the time to build those institutions. Those things will not happen overnight. We don't envisage a situation where, let's say we go now, we say there is a referendum today, then there's a referendum, who takes over, who is leading. Is it the factions that we have today? 10 factions that, like what became war in Southern Sudan, where it turned into a civil war. So we are saying that let's start building governmental, self-governmental institutions, autonomous institutions within our own area that will be able to transition us from now to the period where we hopefully will gain the independence. The other thing that you seem to leave out here is the fact that, centered on this approach, is the fact that we want to get the buy-in of the international community. Right now, the international community, for know any of any international of any that is, I want you to use the word solidly. I don't even know whether actually supported our independence, that is saying that they can recognize us. So we are cognizant of that. And so what we want to do is to gradually build a relationship with the international community, make our point known, and make them part and parcel of the process, so that the negotiation is not a two negotiation. Southern Cameroons or Amazonia of like the Cameroon, and the international community being there as witnesses. And that's why I'm talking to you right now from Geneva. Tomorrow I'm presenting a speech. It will be televised by the UN. This thing. So I'm saying this because I read some stuff from some groups in the social media. They were saying like, "Oh, it's a lie. Where is here and all that." I posted my picture right inside the UN. They say what this thing. Look at the UN program. It's actually online. You see we are presenting a situation, and I think if anybody can correct me on this, this is probably the first time that we are going in as Cameroons to go officially. That is on the calendar. I'm going there tomorrow, and my paper, you can listen.
I hear you, but let me get back to this. Let me get back to this. When
to sell the peace process.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me ask you this.
We have two things.
I hear you. Let me ask you this question. Can you tell us which, apart from Capo, Dania, and PRAP, which Amazonian groups are you working with within the APJ, putting all of this together?
They're all online.
Which are they? Just mention them. Let's.
And by the way, at the beginning, we had many groups that were part of this, and they walked out. And if we want to discuss part of that,
so which groups do you have at the moment working with you and supporting your mission to the UN?
Is the APJ? What do you mean by which groups working with me and supporting my mission?
Your preamble says, your statement says the paper represents the collective position of groups from the former British Southern Cameroon. So I'm asking you, apart from Capo Daniel's PRAP, which other group from the Southern Cameroons is part of your organization?
Well, there are many groups. We have the Nigerian refugee, the Nigerian refugee representative. We have the Ghanaian. We have the Coffin Revolution, which renamed itself as the Amazonian Liberation Movement. We have the Amazonia Republic. There are many groups that are all listed out there. So if you could read other things, you can read them there. My point is this. So, and these groups, they work, and before that, a lot of what we put together was actually at the same time that we had also members of the consultative committee that were also part of it. So the groups that were there were
a member of the consultative. So, I am a member of the consultative committee.
And they were participating.
But I say that to say this. I am a member of the consultative committee, and we sent representatives who tried to find out what this plan was all about. At the end of the day, we realized it was the wrong route to take, and we pulled out. Now, this is the reason why we pulled out. In your ceasefire plan, and I read from page 2 of 16, paragraph 13 says, a permanent ceasefire would only be enforceable in the event of final peace agreement between non-state armed groups and the government of the Republic of Cameroon, predicated upon 1. Recognition of the unique territorial, linguistic, cultural, and identity-based
what document are you reading?
I'm sorry?
From? What document?
I'm reading this from your plan, your peace plan.
What document?
Your peace plan. I'm reading from your peace plan. This is actually page...
Which my peace plan?
The APJ peace plan, page 2.
Let me correct you. Let me correct you. The only plan.
Unfortunately, your connection really has some issues there. All right, go on, please.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I can do. I'm from.
Well, it sounds better now. Just go on.
Hotel in Geneva.
Sounds better. Just go on.
So I'm saying that. Yes, I'm saying that the only official document that we have out there is our 2-page document. What you are reading from a draft document that we're working with together. That's why you have a copy together with all those groups, and some of them worked out. Some groups worked out. The consultative committee, to be precise, they worked out, and because of that and all the things, we said, okay, we don't want to go into every bit and into every minute details, because that can come on a delay. Final decision as of the 17th of January that we created the APJ is that we 2-page official position. That 2-page, which I think we have shared with you. If we are not, it's on our website. You can go look.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Whether it is 2-page or 4 pages, it talks about a ceasefire.
No, because you're quoting from a document that you're quoting from a draft document that has not been approved.
But so don't you talk about a ceasefire in your 2-page document? Don't you talk about a ceasefire in your 2-page document and a referendum also?
Yeah, but you're quoting certain paragraphs that I'm not seeing there.
Yeah, but you are not saying that what I'm quoting is wrong. Your problem is that I'm quoting from a draft. But the question is,
yes, because
if you want,
it is wrong.
Let me put the question. Let me put the question this way. You are asking Ambazonia Restoration Forces to lay down their arms and then get reintegrated by the government of La République du Cameroon in this process. And my question is, if you are asking Ambazonians to lay down their arms and then reintegrate it into Cameroon, what gives you? And then it goes on to maybe 2030, as you suggested earlier, or beyond. What then informs your opinion or your position that after everything is surrendered into the hands of La République du Cameroon, that they will be interested in a referendum after they have dismantled everything for self-defense in Ambazonia?
Yeah, first of all, I've told you that the document you are reading from,
but is my premise wrong?
Is our 2-page.
Is my premise here wrong? The one I'm explaining to you now. Are you not asking for the self-defense force in Ambazonia
in the
ceasefire process to lay down their arms, get reintegrated by the government of La République du Cameroon? Then down the road you talk about a referendum. My question is, what will be the motivating factor to Cameroon to even agree to your referendum?
Sorry, I didn't get this, as you said some number of words, which probably.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I can hear you.
Can you repeat?
Okay, this is the point I am making. You talk about a ceasefire in your peace plan. And you talk about a referendum.
Okay.
And you talk about a referendum in your peace plan, which may ultimately, according to you, lead to an independent Ambazonia. However, to get to that referendum, there has to be a ceasefire. You talked earlier about the release of political prisoners, and then autonomy will follow. Then Ambazonian fighters will lay down their arms and reintegrate it by La République du Cameroon. So my question then is, after Ambazonians have surrendered, they are dismantled from the ability to self-defense, what do you think will be the motivating factor for Cameroon to even agree to a referendum?
Well, if you go to that draft document that you keep on pushing me to get there, the idea in that is that, in that draft document, which I still insist, underline the word draft, idea there, as expressed there, really, if you go at it carefully, answers that question. Because we are saying that there will be a period between 2025 effectively to 2030 where we will be running our own affairs. And I said here earlier that among the things that we are saying that we would be in control, the police that will be in control of our police, and those people who were fighting the combatants will be part of the Southern Cameroon's police force, not part of.
So in your plan, are you saying that in your plan,
and that is
are you saying that in your plans before a referendum? Are you saying that in your plan before the referendum, the Southern Cameroons would be having its own police force? Are you saying that in your plan before the referendum,
yes,
the Southern Cameroons would be having its own police force?
Yes.
I think you are frozen. All right, yeah, I can hear you now. Go on.
Yes, definitely. And what we are going to have our own separate police force.
That is before the referendum.
I'm saying that you are right on that. That yes, that we are going to have our own independence if it works. By the way, this is not a final negotiation document. We are simply to capture our ideas, what we are going. At the end, these things will be discussed with parties, and we have not excluded anybody. First of all, this is like a coalition of the willing. If any group is in particular initiative, they can. If not, continue with your own point. We cannot come and force you to come in, but our vision for it, we start with, and this is important, that we start with getting certain certain activities under our control right now, or at the very beginning, including what we said. There's a flag, an anthem, a capital, an assembly. All of those are written in that draft, which I was trying to evade. Since you are insisting, they are all written in that draft, but we still need to refine them. And if anybody has a critique, in fact, I'm not really worried about the details, because if you have a critique of that document, even as we speak, we can get ideas and go in and fix it. It's a document in process. It has not been handed to La Republique, but we are saying that this is what we think, and basically we are trying to learn from the lessons of the failed Swiss and the failed Canadian negotiations, in order to improve and see what are some of the things. For example, you started by claiming that we do not use the word Ambazonia as to mean that of whatever you had your choice of words. The point is clear, and all the guys, even your consultative people there, they asked. It was Akwanga Wood stood in that meeting and delivered a long presentation of probably 20 minutes or so, trying to say that we should come to the name. And so we agreed that that if La République du Cameroun is not even willing, because we were made to honor that, they have drawn a red line with the matter of name, that if you present a group as Ambazonia this, they are not going to talk. And even while they were there, that name was already agreed upon. The Fontaine de Basse and all this, your consultative guys, they were there and they signed. They signed. We have a document where they signed before they later came and withdrew. They signed the commitment. That has already the language there. They don't use the word Ambazonia. They use British Southern Cameroons, because that was the agreed terminology that was in order to get La République. La République says they cannot. What is in forming this approach again is this. First of all, we want to get the international community involved in the process, in the negotiation process. And the
JJ,
international community.
let me just cut you short there. Let me cut you short there.
Why many try to bring up this point and you try to dodge away?
You've been talking now for like 5 minutes. Let me interject, and I mean, as you talk, questions come into mind. Capo Daniel, who is essentially the brain behind what you guys are falling for, has said that the war is not winnable. He is no longer for an independent Ambazonia. He is for devolution, another word for autonomy. So knowing that, how do you want us to believe that you are being really honest in telling us this thing leads to independence?
Okay. The point is that we need to have all the voices here about if you want to talk about him. Those people who are willing to do this, we have two things on the line. We desire peace. We desire peace because we think that continuing to fight is weighing a lot on our people, and we're losing lots and lots.
No, it is not about. I think the issue, the question.
Okay, so
the question is not about fighting.
With the ceasefire.
The question is not about fighting.
Yes,
the question is believing for the ultimate, which is independence. Capo Daniel isn't saying that we cannot fight.
And
he
that's
is
what
saying
we
that
are
we
for.
cannot win. And so he is campaigning now for one Cameroon. And that is your organization.
That's not. I'm not part of Capo Daniel. I've never been part of his organization. And that's why I'm saying if you have a problem with
so what organization do you represent in the APJ?
Mosaic, we agreed. The IPJ came up. I'm representing the Coffin Revolution, which is called the Ambazonia Liberation Movement. If you insist, I will tell you that. But and I've always done that. If you remember. So, if you remember, this is not the first time I'm representing that organization. My point is that we are coming and putting together a bottom line, what everybody accepts. We are not there to represent Capo Daniel, and if Capo Daniel has a problem, if we can go and ask him the question, not to come and ask me. However, this is a position which he has signed. As to whether he has another position he is to sign for this particular position that we are looking at, that we want to gain independence through a referendum. That is the point. And we want to engage the international community. We want to engage the international community to be partners with this. And that is exactly why we are going on a diplomatic offensive, like what we came here to do, to present our. And we are talking to many countries. As of now, I cannot call names, I don't have any deals, but I will tell you that we have less than 16 countries.
All right, hold on there, because you keep going back.
They are not there for our
Hold on there, because we keep going back to this idea of independence and referendum. Let me read again from your draft, which is I'm looking at page 5 here from your draft. As citizens of the Republic of Cameroon.
I've told you that don't come to talk about the draft. You cannot come and drag me to something that we have not. You cannot come and drag me into something that we have not yet.
But this is your paper.
That is not a published.
This is your paper that you guys forwarded to me.
So you come and get the draft of something. Who forwarded it to you?
One of you. Okay, let me just read what
Well,
it
it's
says.
not
You
a
can,
paper,
you are
and
not
I
forced to
was
accept
elected
it.
to be the
Let me
chair
read
of
what
that.
it says. You don't have to accept what it says there, but let me read it. It says, as citizens of the Republic of Cameroon, all persons having been granted amnesty or release from prison or detention, you said this from the beginning, will have all political, economic, and social rights, as well as the right to participate freely in the political process, both in the former British Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon. Now, the emphasis here is as citizens of the Republic of Cameroon. Again, I ask you
Okay, answer that. I'm more than happy
the
to.
question.
Yes,
Why would you start by suggesting that we are citizens of La République du Cameroon? And Cameroon has to grant
you are
us
citizens of
amnesty.
what
So when I come
internationally?
over,
Today,
Cameroon has
if
to
you
grant Chris Ano amnesty. I don't want to come for Cameroon to look for amnesty. I want to believe here, fly to Ambazonia where I am a citizen.
a safe flight to Ambazonia, my point is that as of now, the plan, there is no contradiction in that plan. The plan says between now 2030, we are going to gradually be assuming responsibility, having our own police, having our own legislation, having our own educational system, and all that. And between now until time that we have the referendum, and hopefully
You
we
are
be so that
assuming.
no
You
matter
are
what is, we can want to
assuming.
build castles in the.
You are
Wait,
assuming.
let me finish. Let me finish this because it's. Wait, let
You
me
are
finish the
assuming.
talk because you just cut me short before I made my point. Wait,
You
let me
are.
finish my point. Don't cut me short before because by then understands what I was trying to say. I was trying to answer your question. You said that was a big deal, and I want to clarify that big deal.
Yeah,
The point is
we don't
is
have all the time
between
here, and I like you
between
to hit the nail on the head.
that's why let me finish the point. If you brought me to come and give me the time to explain,
Yeah, I'm
because
giving
an
you the time.
issue that I want to clarify. Maybe you did not. Yes. So the clarification is this: between 2024, now that we are realistically, it will be 2025 if at to dialogue with us. I'm talking about us as me, AJP alone. If La Republic is dialoguing, probably all the interested voices on the table. I don't know, but as saying is that between now and 20 was to go into effect between 2025 to 2030. During that time, if you are before we at our referendum to decide that we are a country, no matter your fantasies or what, the truth is that if today an Ambazonian wants to leave the country, it goes for a visa, he's Cameroon passport. That is reality. We cannot deny. We may not like it. That is reality. And so, in that, now until with our independence, between now we are realists. I'm not somebody who build castles in the air. I'm a realist. So
I agree
between
with
now and
that.
then,
I agree
just
with that. That
like now,
until
NM's leaving
there is
out
formal
goes to the Cameroon
separation,
passport.
I
Yes,
agree with
and so
that.
that's what
That
we're saying. We're saying that
no,
before we
you've taken
get.
quite a
So how are
long
you
time
arguing
there.
that
This is the
that we
point.
citizens
This
of
is
which
what I'm
country?
trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say.
Let
I
me
agree
finish.
with what you are saying
That
as
is why
far
we
as
are saying
passports
that
and ID
within this.
cards are concerned. I agree with what you are saying as far as passports and
So we're
ID
saying
cards
that
are
between.
concerned. Let me make a point. Let me make a point. This is my problem.
Yes, and let me,
This
please,
is my
can you just
problem.
let me just let me finish
What convinces you
that point? Let me
that
finish because I've not
after
finished my logical
what
argument.
convinces you that after all what you said have been done, maybe political prisoners freed, and then state assemblies, and then laying down of arms by Ambazonian fighters, that Cameroon will agree to your referendum. I see a stone wall the moment you get to where you are talking to and you are left with a referendum. A lot of people will never accept to it.
Well, the guarantees is that we still have our own police. That if things come to the head, they are representing us. They are our fighters, and they represent our own territory. If that works, but what I'm saying beyond everything is that this is not written on stone. If you think that you have a magic wand, or even no magic wand, then you are just the wise man out there and you have something better than this, we are open to you instead of coming and using ad hominem type of arguments.
There is something better, and if you will listen to me, I will explain what is better. This is what is better. How about we invite a lot of people into Cameroon, we come to the table, and Cameroon says, this is what we believe in. This is our plan. We on this side, Ambazonians, say, this is our plan. This is what we believe in. And then we reach a compromise within the two parties instead of Ambazonian going there telling Cameroon we want autonomy, we want self-determination, we want this. Why do you think they are bound to accept it?
It's self-determination, not what we really want. We want self-determination.
But let's bring that to the table where they are there, we are there, and we can compromise.
We are bringing it to the table. We are.
No, you are suggesting autonomy to Cameroon.
No.
Yes,
yes, we've used the word autonomy. I've told you that it is a process that for now, between whenever they agree to sit with us, and if we get into an agreement, our vision, hopefully, is that we would now have autonomy, and those are all predicated on people laying down their arms, that they agree to it, that we have autonomy. And within 5 years, you
are making my point. You are making my point. I'm saying there is no way we can ask Ambazonian fighters to lay down their arms when Cameroon is not committed to anything, because at the end of the day, Cameroon says, I have dismantled them. Forget about referendum. Forget about autonomy. They will say peace has returned, and which is what I really think that most of you at the ICO and APJ and PRAP are really thinking about, because Capo Daniel has made it very clear, we cannot win. There is no hope for Ambazonia.
Well, I don't think, as I told you, I'm not here to talk about Capo. I'm not. And if the other point is that, yes, Capo was the one who brought ICO on the table, and my understanding was that when he brought ICO advised him to bring other organizations on the table. These organizations have come to the table, which until just over a month ago included your representatives. They came to the table. In fact, that draft document you are talking about was drawn when they were on the table. Maybe that is why you have the copy, because they can share, because they were still on the table. And so that was the prevailing point. Now they have moved up, they have moved out. That is fine. Everybody does what they think is good. I mean, but we still think that there should be unity. I would have preferred that they sat on the table and argued and changed change some of those things. And even now, as I've told you, it is a draft document, and it is what we really have agreed to is a summary 2-pager. That is the one that we have dotted T's and cut, dot the I's and cut the T's. And however, even that document is a work in progress. But that's what we're putting out there to be like, this is what we want to do. And we welcome all suggestions. If you think it's not going to work, maybe retreat otherwise and all that, but let the different voices are out to explain, or is trying to, there are different opinions out there, and At the end, we'll present all of this, whichever one works and order. As I've said, I'm clear-eyed on this. I'm not, uh, I cannot say sure going to work, but that is something we are putting out there as a possibility for peace. And if anybody is interested in bringing about the independence, which we have not sacrificed, we are simply prescribing based on our perspective that the independence should be through a referendum, and that realistically the referendum cannot be now.
We agree.
But
We agree. You and I, we agree on a referendum. How to get there and achieve our goal is where we disagree. You mentioned about.
okay,
You
and
talked
if that's the
about.
case, then it is not coming to sit on in public and then fight over it. The way out is that maybe representatives of your group, us, and all that, we come and sit and be like, okay, we think you are flawed here, which as of now,
But this is where the
I've
problem is. You are correct, and that is why we were there in the first place. The consultative commission was there in the first place.
and why did you leave? Can you tell the wait, excuse me, can you tell the world why you guys left?
No, exactly what where I'm coming
Okay,
to.
great. Yeah.
So, this is the problem. There is a memorandum of understanding between PRAP, Capo Daniel, and I guess all of you know about it, and the ICU. We asked to see a copy of it. We realized there was no transparency, and they were not willing to release that document to be seen. Number two, we would not come and be sitting on the table with the people who are talking about, who are speaking a different language from us. It is a language of autonomy, of self-governance, of federation. We know what we are fighting for. We know what people have died for. They have died for independence. Thirdly, the ICO comes across, presents itself as a neutral group, whereas the ICO has not been neutral. As far back as January 2022 or 23, the ICO was in Cameroon bringing the mayors and councillors together to help them to understand and enforce spatial status from Grand National Dialogue. I can show you the photographs from there. So, comrade, this is what is wrong. There is no transparency, and the parties involved cannot be trusted.
Well, I think as I wanted to guys left. Let me tell you why I want that. Your group left because they came to the very ICO and they were asking for money. And they said that all what they want ICO to do was give them money to not just write a check to you. This is fact. Whether they told you or not.
Take that again.
That happened. They said,
hold on, please. I really want to get that because
yes,
that's a revelation you are making.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah, I was part of the discussion.
You are saying the consultative group
Yes.
came to the ICO
Yes.
and they were demanding for
Yes.
money. Explain.
Yes. I'm saying that.
Explain.
Yes. What do I need to explain? I've said so. What do I need to explain?
They
Go
were
ask them to
demanding. They were
explain.
demanding for money to do what?
Yes.
To do what
ask
with the
them.
money?
Go ask them.
No, I mean you were there. I need to know. I'm hearing from you. I'm hearing from you. That members.
Yep,
Okay,
go
do
ask
you
them.
know precisely who from? Because it could be that somebody was acting from his own volition and not the organization. Do you know exactly who demanded money from the ICO, from the Consultative Commission?
No, I do not. And even if I know, I'm not one of those flippant people who would come on and be shouting. People, I have dignity, and even if I disagree with people, I'll present it in the right place, not on social media or on TV or wherever. I'm not that type of person. Maybe you've never known me that much. I'm not.
But you are
I don't
very
do,
sure,
I know people have tried to
100%
do that
sure.
on me.
But you are very sure, 100%
Yes,
sure that.
100%. 100%. I'm not saying 99. I'm saying 100%.
But again, I really want to know what they were demanding this money for.
Okay, call me in person and all that, and this thing I cannot say it up. This thing, but I do not. I was not. I was not. Of course, they made personal calls to ICO, but ICO has confirmed that. I can say that for sure. Except you want to still say that the ICO just made up the story, which that is you are free to say it. But as of that, that is a fact that I heard. I'm
Okay.
100%. I'm 100% sure of what I'm saying, not mincing my words.
I will be joined shortly by Mark Chaps, who attended some of those meetings, and he is the secretary with the Consultative Commission. Dr. Fontem should also be joining this discussion. He seems not to be here yet. Mark seems to be frozen. If he is listening to me, please reconnect and join. But I hear you. However, we go back to
Yep,
the point.
excuse me, and it's not like I'm going away. I will be there, but this cannot be an endless thing. Remember, I told you I'm here in the meeting. I have another meeting to hold, though. But
I get you. I get you. When the time
Yep,
comes, you have to leave. You have to leave. Not a big deal.
yep.
But let's go back to the ICO neutrality in this whole thing. I don't think you disagree with me that since 2022 or 2023 January, the ICO has been collaborating with the Cameroon government to carry out some seminars, some empowerment on the ground, especially at the councillors and mayors level, isn't it?
I think that is public knowledge, so nobody doubts that. It's even on
Great.
their
So my
website.
question then
Yep, it's on
is,
their
when we
website.
say we do not trust them, we do not trust them. We do not see them as a neutral party. Do you understand where we're coming from? Which is the reason why the organization, the consultative committee, said, if we have to participate in anything, let's bring it to the table. Let's participate in the formative process. They didn't do that. They didn't
Well, and
want to do that. Show us the
no, that was the
MOU. Show us the
that was
MOU
the
between you and Capo Daniel. This ICO did not want to do that. We realized there was lack of
well.
transparency. That is why we are not on the table.
Well, they have the right to they have the right to, if you are not comfortable with it, you have the right to leave as they did. But what I'm saying is that that was one of their demands, the money, and that was one of the things that predated that. They knew all along that ICO was involved in Cameroon before they even came to discussing that. They are free to ask for the MOU that they had, whatever, and if that to them was so essential that they could continue without seeing it, then that is fine. But I don't think that the MOU between, that's my personal take, I don't think that the MOU between Capo Daniel and ICO, whatever it has, is would be what would determine the negotiations. Because when they come to the negotiation, we going to MOU? No, we are not going to the negotiation table to go and negotiate MOU. That's not what we're going to negotiate.
Sorry about that. I got a little bit distracted here. Uh, yeah. So we are talking about issue of transparency here. Dr. JJ. We are the Ambazonians, and so we have the opinion that this thing concerns us, and an outside
Of
group
course.
cannot come in and bring down upon us what they want us to do without us having the ability to contribute into what they want us to do.
Well, I think we have the ability to to contribute again what they thought they were not having, then they have the freedom to leave as they
Exactly.
left. But I don't think that, yes, and it's their choice. You cannot force somebody, but I don't think that my freedom was restricted. I don't think that. If they felt like theirs were, that is their right. I don't think that was the.
All right. Doug, why in the absence of Chaps and Dr.
Yes.
In the absence of
Maybe
Chaps,
we can hold another session to bring them in, because I really have to go.
if you can just
honest,
give me just 10 minutes, I will call it. Just 10 minutes. Is that okay? 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, but I can show that.
All right. Let's just give me 10 minutes. And what I want to do is I like to open the phone lines. If you are on ground zero, if you are in the diaspora, you have a question for Dr. Asongu, you go ahead and call. The number is right there on your screen. I got the first caller coming in here. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris.
Hello. Can you please turn down the volume of your set and focus on your phone, please? Where are you calling from?
Yes, I just did that. I'm calling from Gokutunja Country, sir.
Okay. And what is on your mind, sir?
Yes, I have some few questions to ask Dr. Asongu.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. I think that Dr. Asongu is either a La République agent or he is short-sighted. Yes. Now, Dr. Asongu, what mechanism have you used to be convinced that your proposal is what everyone will accept as you say? Now,
okay. Yep.
Is La République dialoguing with us? This is the second question. Is La République du Cameroon dialoguing with us as Cameroonian citizens or Southern Cameroon Amazonians? And if La République, as you said, refuses the referendum after laying down our arms, we still have our police force representing us, as you said. Why not maintain our boys and get the referendum before creating the police force? So, Comrade, please, from these questions I asked, what I can gather is that La République is using every means to disarm us through people like Doctor with this kind of ideologies.
Okay, let him answer because he doesn't have time. Let him respond to you. Let him respond to you. Thanks for the call, Doctor. So his question is.
Yep, I heard it.
Okay.
Yep. First of all, I'm really surprised with that type of logical reasoning. First of all, he puts it as a question, draws a conclusion. But let me try to say, first of all, I'm not negotiating with La République. Nobody has reached out to me. For now, what we are doing is that everybody, the groups came together. In fact, I was not even at the initial stage. The members of the consultative board were there. Later, I was brought in. And what we are saying right now is that we have the point that we are going towards a referendum. And as you asked, that what are we negotiating as, whether we are doing as citizens of Cameroon, I already cleared that we need to be clear-eyed. Until we get our independence, we are citizens of Cameroon. That's why if you want to travel, you need to show Cameroon ID, Cameroon passport.
All right, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. Let's get to the caller here from Ground Zero. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris.
Yes, who may this be?
Are you online?
I am live, sir.
Are you?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You are live on ABS. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Canada, please.
All right, what is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, I heard you people speaking with the Dr. JJ.
Okay.
My question to Dr. JJ is, why did you say that the team from Chris Ano asked for money on public media and refused to give explanation on public media? On the other side, when Chris Ano asks you a question, that's the first question I'm asking you. The second question is, why did you think you people have the right to do what you want without including all actors concerned with a transparency on the table? And you feel that you are right.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Let me
answer.
I think I'm not looking at something clear there. You people have problems. You should go back to your drawing table. You cannot be destroying people and thinking that you are the one who have the brilliant idea when you have hidden secret agenda. Everything that is transparent must be transparent on the table for everybody to see. You can't say that the group demanded for money and Chris Ano has given you explanation why the group walked away from that on that table, from that forum. And you are saying that they walked away because they demanded money. They asked you one person, you don't know. They asked you the reason. You can't explain. You see it's private. What private is it? This is a public media. You exposed them on public media that they were demanding money. It is equal for you to also explain on public media what happened before they demand the money. Because Chris Ano has given you explanation why they left.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call.
Let me have 5 minutes.
JJ, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Wait, let me answer the question.
Dr. Fontem Neba is here. I believe he was in some of those meetings. Dr. Fontem, I don't see your microphone is on. I don't think your microphone is. Turn on your microphone, please. Okay, I think it is on now. No, Dr. Fontem, let me take this up with you. JJ has made an allegation here. It's a very serious allegation. I was not in any meeting with the consultative forum and the ICO or APJ or whatever. I think you and Cheps were there, and probably Akwanga. JJ has made a very serious allegation that some of you from the consultative forum asked for money from the ICO. I would like to know whether that is correct and if you are aware of it.
Well, thank you very much, Comrade Chris. I've been in this discussion for a while.
Centralize your camera,
and
please.
unfortunately, I've been in this discussion for a while, and unfortunately, at some point my camera got frozen, so I had to restart my device. But I think I listened very intently to Dr. January Asongu, and before coming to what he has to say, and I think I want us to be very pragmatic, I want us to be very constructive and very realistic. Before coming to the issue of his very, very delirious allegation, because I think that only somebody on some stimulant can make that kind of careless allegation. The first thing is that Dr. Asongu was never in any of our meetings, although we saw his name, and he was one of the reasons why we had problems working with the ICO, and we had heard a lot of things about him. To have a meeting with him, and so we asked Capo Daniel, who was in charge of the dealings, we had to have a meeting of all the participants in this initiative that he is heading. We need to speak with Dr. Asongu is doing.
We can hear you, Doug. I think your camera is frozen, I guess.
Okay, why you get him on? Can I respond to the other guy while you are
Absolutely, absolutely. Go on. Why he?
And I told you I'm not leaving, but I told you that I gave you 10 minutes. I'm ending in 2 minutes from now. I'll try to summarize.
The next point, we told the ICO, please just wait. You have made a delirious allegation. You never attended any of those meetings. Transpired. And the ICO told us that they were not going to abandon their process because they sponsor it. And we say we are not whether you sponsor it or you don't sponsor it, it's a South Cameroon's problem. And so you cannot be talking to me and then going to talk to Asongu and then going to talk to Capo. Why can't Asongu, Fontem, and Capo sit down and discuss what they discuss? And we will sit down on the table and talk about it. And I told the ICO that the reason why Ambazonians are divided division. So let us sit down and agree on what we do and let the ICO know we have a mechanism of that unify us. So let the ICO wait until the organizations meet. Capo never accepted, the ICO never accepted. And so
Dr. Fontaine, because Dr. JJ has to leave, I would like you to address a particular allegation of money
Dr.
being
Asongu,
demanded
very,
by
very
members.
out of place. And I think you need to wipe your mouth.
Dr. Fontaine, I would like you to address the particular allegation of money being demanded by members of the consultative committee from the ICO.
Sorry, please.
I would like you to address the allegation of members of the commission demanding money from the ICO.
We never demanded any money. The ICO told us that because one of the things, listen, they've asked me a question. Let me explain. The ICO was bragging about $300 million, a $300 million project, which they were supposed to sponsor in Cameroon, And I remember Comrade Cheps asking the details of that program. And eventually they said that those who were supposed to receive the grants to manage the money never met the standard. And so they did not use the money. And so eventually we got talking about the Ambazonians uniting among themselves before working with the ICO. And we told them that we cannot work under Capo Daniel. And they said they were the one, ICO told us that they were the ones sponsoring. And we say, whether you are sponsoring or not, if you don't do what is right, it is not our business. We are not going to be part of anything that does not conform. We at no moment did the consultative commission make a request for money from the ICO. We told the ICO straightforwardly that if you don't show us the memorandum of understanding that you have with Capo, we cannot be part of this thing. Number two, if Ambazonians don't sit down around the table and address the issue of a framework that binds them together before they can work with the ICO should not be the framework. We should have our own framework because we don't want anybody to come with their money and dictate to us what we need to do. That is exactly what transpired. We did not ask for any money from the ICO.
All right.
And
all right.
I told the ICO personally that if they are not doing what is right, we will not be part of what they are doing.
Let me give Dr. JJ the last word here before he leaves. JJ, please.
Yeah, so first of all, you've heard guys coming in without any justification, claiming that we are for, or that I am for Cameroon government and all those type of things. Those are completely unfounded, including what Dr. Neba just said. Is claiming using those their Cameroonian slangs like whether wipe mouth or whatever that means in English. I don't know. But the point person, a lot of money, I should say that proudly. I'm not ashamed of my accomplishment, and I don't need to be paid by any other person. I don't need to be paid by any other person, and I'm proud of that. And I've not been paid by any other person. And for people just to come up and throw slangs all over and the place and claim that people, and the other person talking about how do we bring in others, how do we know that our position is the one that is right. And that is why we are rolling out a process, including making public this document. We are rolling out a process to sensitize people to get their opinions, and at the end of the day, we want it to be a process that everybody who wants to be is involved, and definitely there will be other voices.
Comrade Chris, I think there's something we need to point out to Dr. January Asongu. It's unfortunate that due to technical hitches, I wasn't able to participate fully in this program. But what you need to know,
Well, gentlemen, you both are frozen. That means both of you are frozen. That means it is time for you to hold your peace and we call this. All right, gentlemen, again, both of you are frozen. I think we will call this segment for now. Dr. Neba, if you can hold on for, after my next segment, we will continue with this and open the phone lines and allow people to call in. I know JJ is in a rush for his next appointment. I want to appreciate him coming in. We will keep the doors open here for a continuation of this debate. When I come back, I will take you to my next guest who has invented something that can be so helpful with African immigrants, in the USA or hoping to move to the USA. Don't touch your remote. I'll be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, thanks for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. I want to remind you that after my next segment, I will still open the phone lines. Okay, I see the phones are blazing here. After this segment, I will still open the phone lines to take your calls if you want to contribute on the last segment. But for now, I bring you something that may be of very important to you, maybe somebody you know in your family. My next guest is an inventor of an app, or a creator of an app which may render a lot of help to many potential African immigrants wanting to move or who are already in the United States. The app is called Thrive. Thrive. Thrive is an innovative mobile app designed to empower migrants and immigrants as they navigate their journey in the U.S. or any other country in that matter. It offers a robust suite of features. Thrive addresses critical challenges like homelessness, unemployment, mental health, severance and layoffs, welfare assistance, therapy options, immigration lawyer referrals, and green card transitions. With its personalized coaching and curated resources, the app Thrive ensures users receive the guidance they need. The app is accessible both online and offline, making it a reliable lifeline even in areas with limited connectivity. This groundbreaking tool reflects the vision of founder M.L. Brookshire, who also leads Clubhouse Ghana, a non-profit organization operating a rehabilitation center for individuals with mental health challenges. Her work exemplifies a deep commitment to creating solutions that uplift communities on a global scale. Again, the app is called Thrive.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now being joined by M.L. Brookshire, who is the creator or the person, the brain behind this app. Emma, good to see you, ma'am. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Now, I have gone through your app site looking at the features involved. I'd like to know how did you come about the idea of creating an app that can be used both online and offline to assist immigrants coming to the United States? How did the idea come about?
It's because connectivity is limited and the internet access could be limited if you're in Ghana or Africa at large, and you may be preparing for your trip, that special trip. You've won the lottery for the green card visa, and you might be coming to the United States. In preparation mode, you may not have the tools and the resources accessible to those who are in the US. So it was very important for me that I find an app developer that will be able to build it with offline capabilities so that no one would be limited in terms of their usage of the app.
So, who can use this app? I know that it is for immigrants coming to the USA, but besides that, where in the world can this app be used?
Okay, so the app can be used in any country, any location. You can be in the US or outside. It doesn't matter where you're immigrating from. And you can also realize that we have 6 different target audiences. The first audience we are thinking about happen to be the legal immigrants who are transitioning from status to status, from green card holder status or F1 visa status to becoming a citizen. So being referred to those people by the lawyers who deal with immigration law. Another category of individuals would be those who happen to travel a lot and maybe traveling, so we will get to them through the travel agencies. We'll be targeting the US embassies where they issue these particular visas or these particular paperwork that can allow for people to travel and relocate to the United States. We'll also look at individuals who are just travelers through the airports. So between the departure gate and the boarding gate at the airport where immigration stamps your passport. We'll also have our presence in every US embassy, our presence on every website for the embassies, and every single airport of Africa, all 50 plus countries, will have information about us, memorabilia, paraphernalia, and detailed information so that if the traveler is going through the boarding gates, they have that ease. They have that steady mind to know that there's a future ahead of them that they can at least have some control over, not have to worry about being misinformed or misguided at any way, shape, or form.
A lot of times many people want to come to the USA, but they really wonder, if I get to the USA, how do I get a home? How do I get my immigration status? How do I find a job? And so on and so forth. How does the app address these needs?
Okay, so if you go to Apple Store or Play Store right now and you put in Global Thrive or you put Global Thrivers, it's a new app, so you have to make sure you select the category for new. You're going to download the app and you go to the main interface. As soon as you hit begin, you're going to see resources. You're also going to see above that, more importantly, a community. I would advise you to first of all join the community, make a friend, find someone who's similar to you, like you as an immigrant navigating their resources and benefits. When you get to resources, resources are listed in alphabetical order: children and teens, childcare, emergency services, mental health, housing and transportation, food, even where to get to your food soup kitchen, to be able to get something to eat, a shelter. You might need to relocate from the home that you were brought into. The aunt or uncle may not be the place where you'd want to stay as you look for your first job in America. There's also job resources and careers resources that are given to you with AI functionality. Every single resource that you click on will allow you to speak to an actual chatbot that can answer any and every question. And if you still don't get the answers you want in the palm of your hands, you can then write to support at thrive globalthrivers.com, or call the toll-free number or the main number in Houston, Texas, and be able to get all the advice and the resources that you need to navigate the best journey possible by relocating to the United States.
How does that work? Does that also work well for students?
Yes, indeed.
And
The
somebody who
first
is coming here just want to do business, in the USA
business.
here, if you have 500,000 back anywhere across the globe, you can come to the US and do business for as far as you can prove that you have $500,000. So for
Yes.
somebody like that, is the app also helpful?
It's perfect for the business owner how to get an LLC. Like when I was trying to get an LLC, I asked several people from where I was born, and those who didn't have an LLC were not even willing to share the details with me, unfortunately. So I had to rely on some Caucasian friends and other networks that I was involved in, the Hispanic Association of Houston, the Caribbean Chamber of Commerce. And finally, I found out that I could get someone, a consultant, to help me and support me by getting the LLC done. So this is a place where you have in the palm of your hands, you can look at it and say, you know what, I want to make sure that I can get all the resources and not be denied by someone, not be forsaken or misinformed or misguided by someone, either intentionally or not. But the point is, we are our own rescue. We should be able to resolve certain issues for ourselves. We may have been resourceful where we came from back home, but in a foreign land, we are humbled because we were not born and raised here. We don't understand the credit structure, credit repair, all the expectations of us. So it's very, very amazing that this app will be able to resolve all those issues for you and give you the peace of mind you need as you go by your day to day and assimilate into the new culture for the land at large.
Wonderful. And is the app for sale? Do you have to pay a price to download, or is free of use?
That's a great question. We were only supposed to find 50 subscribers to be able to get the app to be downloaded by Apple Store and Play Store for free. We have surpassed that. Over hundreds of individuals have joined already. I had the idea on October 17th. It's been less than 2 months or less than 6 weeks. We are already live. The app is budding and thriving. People are making new friends. I went
And
to
that
the
is
chat wall
both
and I
on
saw,
Android and Apple platforms?
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Android for Android users and for Apple users as well.
Okay. Interesting. Now, I understand you will also run an NGO in Ghana called Clubhouse. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so Clubhouse Ghana is the first ever Clubhouse franchised mental health rehabilitation center in all of West Africa. There is no other Clubhouse a facility, except for mine that is in Oyarifa, in the city capital, Accra, Ghana. If you are abandoned at the psychiatric hospital and you are forsaken by your family, and when you are discharged, you have nowhere to go, we bring you to my facility and you are able to get support and resources. And also, you sign an agreement for the EEH model: education, employment, and housing, meaning that you go back and get your education, the first E. Second E, for employment, you get an apprenticeship or a trade and a skill so that you can be self sufficient. And then finally, the H for housing, you can move on to your own group home or chamber and hall and have a new life and existence beyond when you were diagnosed with a mental health challenge. It is a temporal situation of restlessness and helplessness. And it's not a death toll when you're diagnosed with a mental health challenge. So I want people to know that there is life beyond that particular area of life when you are diagnosed with a mental health condition.
And how long have you been operating the house?
This dream has been for 5 years, and we are celebrating our 5th year anniversary this Christmas, 26th of December, live in Ghana and virtually around the world. We will celebrate all the hard work for 5 years.
Wonderful. Interesting. So, going back to the app, again, it's a free app. People can download it on any platform, Android or Apple. Is it? And I also read that whether you are on the internet or not, you can use it effectively.
Yes, that I have to be able to give this caveat. When you're on the internet and you lose connectivity, you can go to the resources to read what you were reading. But if you want to engage with the chatbot and ask a question for an immediate response answer, then you need connectivity for that. So you need connectivity for engaging two ways. But if you're just going to be looking at the resources that are provided to you, and also to be able to speak to people and look at their pictures and who's available on the site, and of course, offline capabilities come and are featured there. I hope it's clear.
All right, all right. And the website is there, globaltravels.com. And if
Yes.
you want to reach her, you also have the email is there, info@globaltravels.com. It was a great pleasure having you, ma'am.
Pleasure's all mine, Chris. I'm very excited to be here, and you have no idea.
All right. Thank you. You have a great night.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, we are back to the phone lines. We are back to the phone lines. The phone lines are open. And again, I found out lots of people were calling to contribute to the show. We're back to the phone line. So please, you can go ahead and call. Before you call, make sure that the volume of your set is turned down before you call. I believe that JJ Asongu will still listen to the end of this show. Listen to the end of this show at the end of the day. So you can go ahead and ask any question that you may want to ask. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Comrade Chris.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I'm calling back. I'm calling for the second time. Yeah, Comrade Chris, I just want to. I wish the app you are talking about, if maybe we could have the logo of the app, it would have been very grateful for us, because we have lots of Thrive ads in that how do they call it?
Thrive
That is
America,
when they
the
want to download
flagship
it. There are so
model,
many.
offers personalized coaching and
uh,
assistance to go-to resource as
there are
you
so many
navigate the
Thrive
go-to resource as you
apps there, so
navigate
we
the
don't know exactly
complexities
which
of
one.
settling into
And
a
then
Okay,
new
I
that
life.
is
also
the
want to
logo
comment
of
on
the app. That is the
Thrive
logo of the
America,
app.
the
Oh, I'm
flagship
sorry. I
model,
think I missed
go-to
that. I will
resource
get
as
it
you
back there.
navigate the complexities of settling into a
thank
new
you, sir.
country.
That is the logo on your screen, the colors. And so if you go looking for it, you want to look for the logo that you find on your screen with that one word, thrive. And
Yes, sir. Comrade Chris.
and if people need
Hello.
to, and if people need to get back to the lady promoting it, her email is there, and the website is there also. Yes, sir. Go on.
Okay. So I want to comment on doctor's ideologies he's trying to push through. You see, it is true. Doctor said he wants to go, but when the other panelists came, because of the fact that he was
Neighbor,
unable
okay?
to, yes, because he was unable to bring out the person who precisely asked for money. It was like just hearing to go away. So this is the kind of thing we are saying. They just want to destabilize us and then make sure that their ideologies go through. We shouldn't fall for this kind of people, sir. Thank you.
Well, only very naive people will fall for it. The moment you look through their paperwork, you realize that it's all about a one Cameroon agenda, and we've long walked away from it. As you said, yes, he couldn't tell us who exactly asked for money. Maybe he said I should call him after the show in the background, and he will tell me. I will follow up on that. Thank you for the call.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. All right, the phone line is open, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and call. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I thought, yeah, good evening, sir.
Can you turn down the volume of your set? Turn down the volume of your TV and focus on your phone, sir.
Yeah.
Before you call, make sure that the volume of your TV set is turned down. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I am from Taraba State.
Taraba State. That is in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes, I'm from the Taraba State.
Okay,
Please,
what?
I want you to add something to that caller, and I mean that man you invited, JJ. He is lacking substance. He is not capable. He is. Please don't invite people like this man. He is about La Republic. So we don't want such people to appear in your screen to be disgracing Amazonia.
No, you see, let me hold on. You see, oftentimes I come here and I dish out information about what we know. Sometimes when you allow them to come and speak for themselves, it is not more just about us speaking. You guys have had the opportunity to listen to him and hear what they are selling. So it is no longer coming from Chris. I know you hear it from the guy's own mouth, and you form your opinion. That's what we try to do, because tomorrow they say, oh, we failed because it was Chris. Chris did this, Chris did that. Whereas we are just here trying to protect the integrity of this struggle. Yes.
He came only to accuse you. He came only to disgrace us. So
Such people should not be invited in
No, he cannot.
in the media any longer.
No. He cannot succeed to accuse us or disgrace us. I mean, he just cannot succeed. He did that at the end just because he was busted essentially.
The capability is not there. He doesn't know what he is speaking. He keep on spelling words. So
Right.
such people, well,
All right.
we are behind you. We know what you can do. We know what is going on. Everybody knows the right channel. But the whole thing is that people like those people should be educated by you. When they come
That's one of the reasons we bring them on.
and educate them. They don't know where they are going.
All
They
right.
don't know what is happening.
All right. Thank you for the call.
We're happy you are there. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye.
All right. The phones are ringing. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, this is Dr. Mutue calling from Kupe Maniguba.
Oh,
Kupe Maniguba.
all right. Good to
Yeah.
hear your voice, sir. What is on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted, unfortunately, Professor JJ is gone. I had a question for him because I remember we worked together in the government, the interim government of Osako, 2020, when he was the head of planning and control. I was the deputy. I wanted to find out from him if he came in as a spy to spy for the Republic and then taking it out now to go and be heading whether they call it ICO or what. I wanted to find out from him.
No, I think
as a spy.
the simple answer there is these are people who own investment, especially he owned a huge school.
I know he owns an investment. He owns
In Boyades, and is it St. Monica University or something like that?
Yes, and Monica.
So you don't expect them to stay in this thing for long because they know their business interests will be compromised.
He's knocking a bad foot there. Bad foot.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the call, sir.
Okay.
All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Dr. Gabriela, are you trying to change your voice? I know it is you. Good evening, sir.
How are you, Chris?
I am doing excellent. Good to hear your voice. What is your contribution, sir?
Am I live? Because I see you have. I'm watching the show and.
You are live.
I try to call.
You are live. You are live.
All right. No, thanks for having me. I think I'm trying to find a quiet place to talk. So I followed your interview.
Yes,
with,
do me a
Professor
favor.
Asongu. There's some of the questions that you asked.
Do me a favor. Turn down the volume of your set, please, and focus on the phone.
Okay. No, I've turned down the volume of the call. I want to thank you for the interview and for the questions that you asked.
Yeah, okay.
There are a few of the questions which I wish I could weigh in just to bring some clarity to your viewers.
Yeah, you can do that. I know you are part of that group. Go ahead and do that.
So there are a few things that you raised. I think Professor Asongu was right not to call names, but just to bring questions of clarity. The question about Moida was requested was in a very specific context where Dr. Kwanga requested that funds be made available for facilitation of certain activities with certain individuals in a part of West Africa. That was the context within which that comment was made.
Okay, hold on there. I'm very glad you are making that clarification so everybody watching understands. So the request was made by Dr. Akwanga. The money request was made by Dr. Akwanga. And according to you, it was made to take care of certain activities in Africa. Am I correct?
Right. So it was. You remember the whole conversation about the structure of the approach.
Yeah.
And I think he was coming in from the background of the previous engagements that had been organized with fighters in Ghana, and was suggesting the adoption of a similar approach. So that's the context.
Okay, so in other words, Dr. Kwanga wasn't asking for the funds for his private use.
that should be clarified for everybody to be clear. So it was a question of this is and we can talk off air, and I will go into the details of the conversation, but for the sake of the image of the CC and Dr. Kong and everybody involved, that's the context in which the funds were the discussion. So it's a question of, this is how we prefer to approach this. Let's get these people to give us X amount of money to do ABC. So
okay.
That was the context of the conversation.
All right, awesome. All right, go on.
So that's the one. And then I think that the question about the referendum, you asked me a question about the guarantees from the Republic of Cameroon. Now, it is the paper proposes a UN mediated process, and we do ask for a UN mediated agency that has membership contributed by a UN mission that has members from the African Union and from a number of African countries and a number of stakeholders that will serve as guarantors of the process. And Dr. Asongu was quite right in making mention of the fact that there are two advantages to a precursor to a referendum. We all agree in a very broad sense about the importance of referendum, but the idea and the importance of building capacity to govern prior to a referendum is the one innovative angle of the paper. To say, like, let us try our hand at self-governance by handling a number of specific low-hanging government departments and develop capacity with an autonomous assembly, with a Westminster-style prime minister elected for the Southern Cameroons that is ready to govern post a referendum. Now, irrespective of whichever way you come at a referendum, a referendum is a democratic choice.
No, we all agree. Hold on, doctor.
Either yes or no.
Hold on, doctor. I will give you as much time as possible. Don't worry. This is my point. Your draft proposal, which I read, talks of the type of government as exists in Canada, Quebec, and mainland Canada. That is what it says in the draft, right?
Yeah.
Now.
So the devolution model, I would prefer the Good Friday Agreement, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the UK kind of model as a more appropriate reference to the proposal of autonomy.
Yeah, but this is the issue. The question which I asked Dr. Asongu is, after you agree to all of that, assuming that the public agrees with you that detainees are released, maybe a form of state is agreed upon, which is your autonomy, the kind of thing we are talking about, Quebec and Canada. My question then is, and then of course the laying down of arms also comes in within that same era and cycle. So my question is, after you have dismantled Ambazonia and you are still hoping for a referendum, what is going to motivate Cameroon to even think about a referendum?
So those are the two processes. That we have put in place. Two answers to that question. Number one, in the build up towards the referendum, we've said that there's going to be a UN mission that is supposed to monitor that process. That's supposed to, amongst others, manage a fund that's supposed to help in both reconstruction and the setup of the government. So the short answer to your question is, it has to be a process that is backed and guaranteed by the international community. Hence, we have formulated the document in such a way that gives us access to this same international community to say, here is a process that we would like to roll out, which we would like you to support. And I totally agree, because the flip side of your question is that without guarantees, we have no assurance.
Not only guarantees, but you look at a situation where Cameroon at the end of the day says, we've done all of this, peace has returned, Ambazonians or Southern Cameroonians, no, they call it Anglophones, are now okay in going about their business. There is tranquility. They don't have any motivation to even think about a referendum, because logically they would have gotten everything they already want. You talked about the laying down of arms and reintegration of those fighters to the DDRO and jobs and so on and so forth. If I were to be involved, this is what I would do or suggest. I would say that put a plan on the table that includes benchmarks as to what is happening, when and where, and let the public signs on it, so that before you even start anything, the public knows that on January 1, 2030 or 2028, there will be a referendum in Amazonia. You put everything down with those benchmarks, so they cannot come tomorrow and say the process is over because peace has been achieved, because that is exactly what they want to achieve. And Dr. Gabriela, you yourself have said, you yourself have said independence is not achievable.
Understand that what you have suggested is what the plan is proposing to do.
No, I have not read that though.
I have had enough time to articulate it in the manner, but it is that same step-by-step process that says confidence building measures, release of political prisoners, rollout of an autonomous government, establishment of regional assembly, establishment of a Southern Cameroon's government, establishment of prime minister, establishment of a reintegrated police force, and that builds up to an independence referendum.
But you talked about your document.
Maybe in the framing and the explanation, we do not come across as clearly as you want it to, as you have put it. But that is exactly because, Comrade Chris, we share the same concerns that you have about what if they don't come to the table.
Yeah, but we don't share the same direction. We do not share the same direction, though.
It's exactly what the plan seeks to accomplish in
All
a
right.
sequential step-by-step manner.
Let's do this, Doctor. I have quite a number of calls coming in. I will invite you on the show maybe in a week or two later, and we will have enough time to discuss this.
It will be an honor, Comrade Chris Allen, and thank you again for the work that you're doing. I think we owe our people transparency, accountability, and none of us has a silver bullet. None of us has a golden wand, a magic wand that would wave at the problem.
Yeah,
we're giving this our very best, and we want to subject ourselves to the scrutiny of our people. That's why Dr. Asongu comes forward and explains the plan. I'm coming on to explain the plan for our people to ask the difficult questions so that we are covered from all corners.
Yeah,
but we are in this together.
But the problem is that when somebody like you who has walked away from independent stands, you have Capo Daniel who is talking about devolution, and you are his assistant. In that case, you have JJ Asongu. So you have also
you're playing the player, not the ball.
No.
Independence and devolution is a process. It's on a continuum.
It's a process, but they don't have the same end goals. But they don't have the same end goals.
It's a question of a process as opposed to an expressed outcome. You and I all have the same exact desired outcome. Our only difference is how we intend to
I don't think so.
that.
You have openly stated that this independence thing is no longer feasible. Let's go with devolution, which is autonomy. That's what your group is saying.
You need to understand Comrade Capo's comment in context. He's talking in context of a degenerated liberation war that has entered into a place of chaos. When
all right.
Their guns and executing their own people.
Comrade, let's have this.
It is not we cannot win this because we could never win it. Like we are in a difficult space. We need to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate our strategies, which is what we have done.
All right, let's have this on another day, and I will put it to you before you leave. If you guys will agree to come, we sit on the table and start it from square one. How about that? And started the planning from square one.
By all means, Comrade Chris.
All right, great.
We are open to that.
All right, thank you for the call. I will give you a ring.
Okay, thanks for taking my call.
All right. Hello.
Talking with Comrade Chris.
You are live, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maison.
Okay, and what is your contribution?
Are you Mr. Chris?
Speaking, sir. And you are live on TV.
Yeah, I'm calling from Mezam.
Yes, what is your contribution?
Yes. I want you to know, Comrade Chris, we are doing this fight.
Shut down the volume of your TV. I can hear it in the background. That's why you are not focused.
Yes. Am I calling Comrade Chris?
I'm hearing you. Go on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, the phone line is still open. I see so many people trying to call. Go ahead and call. Go ahead and call. The line is free now. Whoever comes in, I take the call. All right. The number is there on your screen. And as I forget, I just want to remind you, ABS is still recruiting freelance reporters, community journalists or reporters all over Amazonia and French Cameroon. If you are able to write, if you can write and articulate a point, you don't have to be a professional journalist or reporter, but if you can articulate a point and state the facts and send us stories for the website, we will be able to make good use of you and pay you for that service. If it is something you are interested in, send me a message by way of WhatsApp on the number you find on your screen, and we will go from there. And I'd like you to visit our website, absafricatv.com, for daily breaking news. You will love it. You will love it. Okay, the phone line is open. The phone line is open. Go ahead and call. All right. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Douala.
Okay, La République du Cameroon. What is on your mind, sir?
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to continue to thank you and continue to stay you to take heart, and God will continue to give you that heart, because I've seen that most of our brothers, they are not with this struggle. They are not, some of them, let me not say most, some of them are not with this struggle. They have taken a lot of money, and like Capo Daniel have done.
Yeah.
He's just working now to fulfill what they agreed of. He's working now to fulfill what they agree of. So I'm happy that when you bring people like that, even they want to be stubborn to you, callers will disprove them of their own evil aims. Caller will disprove them. So I've listened everything you have said with the doctor that came up there to say, to talk on the organization that they have. So all those things show is that Capo Daniel that is doing all those things, because he knows that the money he has collected, he cannot eat that money without fulfilling what they have said he should do.
Yeah, and we
So
have
move
Capo,
around
and
like-
we have to add to your point, and we have Capo Daniel in video asking fighters on the ground to lay down their arms because Cameroon is going to support them. And here they all want us to believe that they are all working for a free Amazonia. They haven't even finished their documentation, and we have Capo Daniel on the record asking for our fighters to lay down their arms. And they want us to believe that they are really serious. They want us to get independence, isn't it?
They believe that if they can start with you people to convince, and you can, because they know where that the fighter are obeying your orders, and they know who are the right people who
Well, we are
fighting
not.
for. So they know that if they start there, you people can, they want to just use baby, because they are fighting for their freedom.
Right.
They are fighting.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Capo Daniel cannot use them because they know what they are fighting. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you. Good night.
All right.
Good night, sir. Thank you.
Okay, the phone line still open. In the next 3 minutes, the show will be over. You want to call, go ahead and call at this moment, please. All right. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling in from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero,
What county in Ground Zero?
Meme County.
Meme County. Wonderful. What is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, what is on my mind is that that doctor that was making noise there, we all know who is Capo Daniel. Capo Daniel is very easy to board in any means. You can buy Capo Daniel even in a bunch of banana. You can give Capo Daniel a bunch of banana and you buy him. So we know Capo Daniel very well.
Okay.
So Capo Daniel is not somebody that Ambazonia can rely on him.
And can you imagine? Hold on there. And can you imagine you sitting out there and hearing that Chris Anu has joined Capo Daniel to sign some document to? I mean, what would you guys think of myself here? Nobody will take me seriously, isn't it?
It is. You know, La Republique is very wise and very wise and very tactical. When the time that they realized that Ambazonia was calling for unity, that is why they go and bring out this group that they are calling an ICPO or IGPO, whatever. So they are calling those name of those groups, so that they can use those group so that to put us in their bondage. So there's something that I wanted to ask that doctor at that time. I wanted to ask that doctor that if he has a son in his house, that he want to put that son is chopchie, and then the child is misbehaving, the child is selling, the child is not worthy to be in that position of to become a chopchie in his house. Can he trust that child and still give that child chopchie? He cannot. Capo Daniel, anything concerning Capo Daniel is not something that Ambazonia should rely on.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for the call.
Capo Daniel. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. All right. I have 1 minute, less than 1 minute to call it a night here, and I will be back. I will be back on Monday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday in America is a big holiday. Call it Thanksgiving holiday. And so for that reason, we won't be here till Monday. And let me get to this last caller here. Hello.
Chris.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Yes, I'm calling from Boyo County.
Boyo County, wonderful. And what is your contribution?
Due to our time, only 1 minute, I just have one thing to say.
Okay.
Any person that is talking anything apart from independence, that person is a sellout. That's the only thing I can say. There's nothing. If not independence, any person, that person is a sellout.
All right. I hear you. We all get it.
Yes, that person is a sellout. When you hear somebody saying La Republique is winning and we can never, what type of language is that? You should not. Nobody should listen to those type of people. If you say we cannot, let them just go. They can never win, not we. They say I can, or my group can never. You should not say we can never win this battle. Right. It is their own cup of tea. We don't care about that one.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. Hello.
Yes.
Where are you calling from, please?
Call. The network was dead disturbing.
All right, go on. You have 50 seconds because the show is almost over.
Yes, Congress Chris, I want to ask a question for all these doctors, JJ, since 2016. Where have they been fighting?
That's a good question. I wish he was still here to answer it.
Yes. People like this, Capo Daniel, Dr. JJ also called what? Asongu. Yes. Step those people out of your channel.
No, it's good
Where
that
I
it's
want
good.
you
It's
to
good that it's
focus.
good to have them so Ambazonians know who is doing what.
Yeah, where I want you to focus is to bring peace between those of you that has arms on the ground. They're fighting against the Republic.
All
Yes,
right.
so join Sako. Talk to Sako. We know who is the elder. It's not Sako, but you. We did all. We started from square one. So, same as we are talking to you, are talking to Sako. Let's keep the differences aside. Not monkeys with fishes. You are all Ambazonians, the leaders, fighting for us.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. My time is up. So thank you for the call.
Yes, we'll keep on talking.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it a night at this moment. In the meantime, if you are on ground zero and somehow you fail to watch this, we will rebroadcast it throughout so that all of you can watch it. In the meantime, I'd like to remind you all, please get to absafricatv.com. Enjoy the news there. And I also want to invite you, follow us. You can follow us on the X, formerly known as Twitter. You can follow us there. You can also follow us on YouTube and Facebook. We stream simultaneously on satellite, on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to being back here on Monday. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you in the USA and good night to all of you in Africa and the globe.